everyone, welcome back to Rolling Solo. My name is Adam Smith. Today we're going to be going through part number 2 of the Flight of the Freedom Fighter campaign. In the last video we set up all the probe droids that are sitting outside of the rebel base right now, so this is the entrance over here. We got our two heroes sitting kind of in the middle central area. Both of them are all set up ready to go. Our probe droids are two regular ones, one gray group and then one blue group right here, as well as an elite right here. We've got cards for each of them, so obviously the red one is going to correlate to this elite right here. It's going to have 7 health and a black defense die, 1 blue die and 2 yellow for attack. Attack wise they're all the same, but to note with the regular units is they only have 5 health each. And then again I got these tokens just to make sure if there's any effects between them that we note them on each card and so that we don't forget them. So basically we get to start this round, which is cool because we get to go ahead and activate first. What I really don't know about this app just yet is whether or not it's going to interrupt our activations. So what I wouldn't know is whether or not it's going to allow me to go first with my hero and then have an effect or some type of event that happens that stops me in my plan. So I've been thinking about how I kind of want to start this. My first initial thought was to try to get Fenn to shoot, maybe run back, hide behind the corner. But the more I thought about it, the more I thought that getting Diala as close to one of these probe droids that are weaker as possible is good, because she has some extremely powerful precise strike abilities that allow them to, or allow her to take strain in order to remove a die from the target's defense pool, which would make an attack that much easier against it. So I'm thinking I'm going to do that. So I'm going to activate Diala. She's going to come running over here, 1, 2, 3. And when she gets to about here, she's already exhausted 3 of her speed. She has 1 more, and I could make that 4th one by going diagonally to here. The reason I'm putting her here is because it keeps her as far away from these other probe droids as possible in case they try to shoot her or they just want to move closer to attack her. I don't know whether they'll go after Fenn first or Diala. That's the fun part, is trying to figure that out. But at the end of the day, if I can keep, regardless of whoever I chose to go first there, I'd be probably trying to position them as far to the back corners as possible. And this is where the tactics come into play as to like how you want to play it, because you can really use corners to your advantage if you feel like it. You can try to get up close and personal. It's up to you. Ranged characters probably won't do so hot if they're close up. But Fenn does have 12 health, I should say, plus the 10 that the app has given us for each additional character, and then 12 over here. So really we have 22 across the board for each character. So anyway, Diala has gone ahead and used her first action to move her 4 spots to get just behind the probe droid. She's going to go ahead and use her, I'll just take this set of reference card out of the way, but she's going to use her plasteel staff, and we're going to hope for good things here. So the green and yellow die are coming out, and we're going to hope we can get some decent surges to use stun and possibly maybe an extra damage to kill it if that's doable. In terms of the probe droid, it has a black defense die, as per normal, but as we talked about, she has the precision strike ability. I am definitely going to take 2 strain in order to choose and remove 1 die from the target's defense pool. So she's going to take 2 strain tokens from our pile up here, drop them on her on her character cards there, and now she's taken 2 strain of the 5 she's allowed to have used in order to remove this die from the pool, and now she's just rolling a straight attack, which is great. Hopefully it's a good one. I don't have anything else that can give me a reroll off this, so we just got to hope for the best. Hope this attack lands something nice. Okay, that was not as exciting as I thought it was going to be. So we got 1 range, which we don't need when we're doing a melee attack. As it shows here, this weapon is a melee weapon. We got 1 damage, 2 surges. So we are going to be able to use our extra damage. So that was going to give us 2 damage total coming through. So that's okay, I guess. It's not the greatest hit ever, but it's something. We do have another surge to use, and that surge we can use for stun. So there's a stun ability right there. Yep, and we're going to go ahead and grab the card for that. So the card comes from this deck here. There's a whole bunch of them though. There's, I think in each of these there's a bunch of different condition cards, I guess. So these are the stun ones right off the top. It says you cannot attack or voluntarily exit your space. So we have to make sure the stunned card actually gets placed on the right group. So it's going to be the blue group is going to be getting stunned. So when this probe droid activates at some point in time, the first thing it's going to have to do is use an action to burn away the condition because it's stunned. So all we're essentially doing is slowing it down a bit, but doesn't necessarily hurt it per se. So that was that. I was hoping for a little bit better of a roll there. That was a little bit of a letdown. Not as exciting for the first shot, or at least I should say the first melee attack, but that is Diala's full turn of movement and attacking, so we're going to have to say that she is now done. So we'll end her activation. And it looks, oh geez, the elite probe droid's going to go first. That is aggressive. Okay, so we have a bonus here, gaining 1 surge and 2 accuracy. That's fantastic. The activation order says, okay, so this one with a little bullet point here, square bullet point, is something that's always active. So it says targeting computer. So this elite probe droid always has a targeting computer that gains it 1 extra damage and another 2 accuracy. So in other words, regardless of where this thing is sitting right now, it is going to start with 4 accuracy, which means it's guaranteed to hit Fenn from where it sits, and 1, 2, 3, 4. It can't hit Diala yet, but it could definitely use its movement to get there if it needed to. Now we find, and again, that top one does not cost an action to actually use it, so we're going to skip down to the next thing. This is the first one. It says to attack, move 3 to attack Fenn. Well, it already has its accuracy in place, but it is still going to move anyway, so we'll go ahead and move it regardless, even though the accuracy we know is well and above what it needs, so we'll move it for now. So we're going to move it 1, 2, 3, and that's as close as it needs to be. Really, it doesn't have to move at all, so there's debate there. You could just leave it where it is. At the end of the day, it looks like the next action we'll be taking underneath of this, once it attacks Fenn, is to reposition 3 anyway. So repositioning 3 would be putting it as far back as it can away. So it's debatable. I wouldn't think that it needs to do anything then in that case. I'd probably have it sit right there. You know what? I'm not going to have it move at all. I think if it has the accuracy to make it, it wouldn't need to get any closer. So I'm going to leave it there. That's the choice I'm just going to make. It just makes logical sense. So from here, we're going to have an attack against Fenn. Fenn does not have anything up in his abilities that'll help him on defense, except he has 1 black defense die. So we'll use that. And then this elite probe droid has blue and 2 yellow attack dice. I'm hoping he doesn't have anything else that's going to hurt us. So let's go take a look at ignore self-destruct and targeting computer abilities on this group card. Okay, so basically on the actual group card here, it's saying to ignore these 2 because targeting computer is talked about differently here. And that's something to always check, is to click on the picture and just make sure there's no extra abilities you're forgetting about. So this should be pretty nasty. I imagine this is going to hurt quite a bit. So hopefully Fenn can handle this. So here we go. Okay, so we got... Ooh. All right, well, regardless, range doesn't, or accuracy I should say, doesn't matter here because we have the accuracy from all the bonuses, but the hits matter. So 1, 2, 3 hits. 1 of the hits is blocked by me, 2 of them are going to get through, and he has 1 additional surge to use against me. So let's take a look at the priority, see what happens. Recovering 2 is not going to do that because he's not hurt. Ouch, the next one's plus 2 damage. That's going to hurt. So that's going to be a total of 4 damage coming through against Fenn from distance. That's not good. That's a lot of damage for 1 hit. That's pretty nasty. So, wow, that's really great. Now I know why this is hard. So we've got some damage on some units, but at least that one's done. And of course, next up it says move 2 to reposition 3. This probe droid is already far enough away from all of... It's already repositioned 3 away, so it doesn't need to do anything else. It's going to skip this instruction. It doesn't need to go any further, so we're good. We can finish it up. And we come back to us. So now Fenn's going to get his chance for revenge, essentially. Now the question here becomes, do I have Fenn take a pot shot from here towards this probe droid? So this would be an attack that would probably measure from corner to corner like this, which is easily doable. And of course this one's obvious that it can make it. But the fun part is knowing whether I should do double attack on one or whatnot. So that's where it gets fun. This one we know is stunned for now. But the fun part is trying to figure out whether or not this elite one is painful. Now the elite just activated, so I would guess that the elite's probably not going to activate right away again next turn, so we might have taken the worst possible first activation from the group. So we might be able to ignore this one and maybe focus on the weaker ones, and I'm going to do that. So I'm going to try to actually knock one of these off or out of the equation. So we're going to have Fenn try to take a shot from here. This is a little risky because his range is, and I'd like to try to make 2 attempts at it. This one is going to have a range of 1, 2, 3. He needs 4 basically. 1, 2, 3. Now, no matter how I do it, 4 range is what he needs, or 4 accuracy. And then I can hope that after I make that first shot, I can maybe run away or make a second shot at the elite if I can kill it. So let's go Fenn 2. So we're using his infantry rifle. Again, gives an extra damage and +1 accuracy. Those are both helpful things if we happen to land them. This Probe Droid here is going to have a black die, and I can't do anything strain-wise to take that away from him, because it's only Diala that has that cool precision strike ability. So Fenn here is going to take his shot right down the line and try to take out this Imperial Probe Droid. Okay, that did not go as planned. So we've got ourselves 4 range, so 1, 2, so we made it range-wise, that's good. In terms of the surges, we can only spend them here on accuracy, which increases it to the point of not being useful. And then the extra damage, though, is good, except for the fact that extra damage gives me a total of 2, and he blocked it. So I made the shot, but the Imperial Probe Droid just sucked it up. Didn't do anything to him. So we're going to have to do this again. So I'm going to have to hope that I can land this attack again, but this is making me wonder whether this is the best way to go about this. I think it is. I don't want to waste any time on movement. I think I need to make another attack and just hope I can clean this thing up. Oh no. No! I had such a good roll there. That's brutal. So essentially we've got 1, 2, 3 damage coming through, but then 3 fantastic blocks by the Probe Droid. And then this surge is going to give me an additional damage. So that additional damage will actually make it there with the 6 accuracy. So I do put a damage on it. So that's good, but not great because these things have 5 health. So I really needed this thing to not be a 3. The chances of it landing on a 3, that hurts my feelings quite a bit. Yeah, that didn't go to plan, but that's the way this goes. Sometimes the dice are not in your favor that way. So we'll put this die back, and now essentially we're done. We do have to remember he is stunned though from Diala's attack before, so that's a plus, I guess. If he happens to activate, we'll see, but Fenn's turn is now done. The Gray Probe Droid is now going to activate. So the Gray Probe Droid's way up here, up in the top. So where is he going to go? He gains 1 surge and 2 accuracy. Does he have any special abilities? Ignore the self-destruct. Okay, good to know. So there is a self-destruct on the card and stuff like that. We're not going to be blowing himself up. Sadly, I wish that'd be nice if he blew himself up far away from me. It does say here move 2 to attack Fenn, so that's where he's headed. And he got a +2 bonus on accuracy, so we're going to move 2. So 1 and 2 puts him right here, which is adjacent. So his accuracy is going to be perfect as he makes this attack against me. So Fenn's got some issues with this guy here. So now at this point, we're going to roll for the Probe Droid, who's going to be rolling blue. Where'd those dice go? Blue and 2 yellow? Yes. That's that's such a vicious roll. And then Fenn's going to have his 1 black defense die. Oh man, this is going to be painful. Again, this Probe Droid gains an additional surge when it attacks me, so we're going to have to use that. We're going to have to factor... Oh my goodness, that is brutal. Okay, so we've got 6 hits across those dice. The accuracy doesn't matter because he's adjacent to me. Thankfully, I rolled a 3, because if I hadn't, that would have been an absolutely insane amount of damage. So basically, no surges except for the bonus surge that's here, which sadly is probably going to do something. Yeah, it gives him an extra damage. So basically, it's 7 minus 3, so that's 4 damage going on to Fenn. So we might as well take 1 away and just put a 5 there. So now he's got a total of 8 damage on him already. That is a lot of damage. That is not looking good. That is not looking good at all. Okay, so we're going to take this and then put this back into Fenn's area, and then we're done. He is going to move 2 now to reposition 3, so he's going to move 2 to get as far away as possible, and that is perfect. Let's get some 3 away from Fenn. He's happy. Of course he's happy, because he just put all kinds of pain on me. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to... now that Fenn has been beat up so badly, I want to get him out of there is the problem. I'm worried he's going to... If I don't get him out of there, something bad's going to happen. So this one's activated, this one's activated. The next one that's likely to activate is this one, but we know it's stunned, so that turn will be kind of useless. So maybe this is a good time to have Fenn take a pot shot at this, try to put it out of its misery, and then maybe step away, like step out of the picture and, I don't know, like just kind of draw them away. I'm not too sure as to what is the best option there. Things get a little bit dicey with that one. And again, if I keep him where he is, I can take 2 shots, which I might need to do. So let's do it. Let's do a shot. We did pretty good with accuracy last time. Let's just hope that the enemy doesn't roll as good on the defensive die. So we're going to activate Fenn, but now that I think about it, if I activate Diala, she could take this probe droid out in one hit, guaranteed, because she can take away the die from it, and then use movement to get closer to the elite and maybe draw the attention away from Fenn for a bit, so he doesn't have to take so much pain. So maybe that's a better idea. So actually, I'm going to have Diala attack first, and Diala is going to use 2 strain in order to remove the black die that this probe droid would normally have for its defense. And now we're going to roll these 2 dice free of any defense die and hope we can just take it out. Oh my goodness, I cannot roll anything for the life of me. I still can't do this, so it looks like I get another stun, and obviously a target that's stunned can't be stunned again, but I can put 1 damage on it thanks to that, to one of the stuns, but still not what I wanted. So again, I'm going to have to spend another attack to do this, but the downside is I can only do this once per activation, and I'm also kind of at my limit in terms of putting strain on, so talk about things not going my way here. So he is going to get his black defense die back on the second attempt. But, you know, I don't know. Let's see how this goes. I'm scared. Okay, we got it. We got it. All right, thank goodness. So regardless, we don't have to really worry about any surges. Now, one thing that I don't want to forget, because with Diala, remember, when we have unspent surges, we're allowed to use one of the surges to remove one of the strain tokens. So that's what we're going to do with this one, because essentially this block here will block this damage. We want to keep the surge for later. The 2 damage get through, which kills off this particular unit, so that's great. So we'll just remove that from the board. The blue one is the one that's going to suffer and be removed from the game. So that's going to remove the stun card back to the deck. This gets flipped over. We got to tell the app that the blue one has been taken out, so let's make sure we actually grab the blue one. Blue and gray are so close together, but it actually even says the color right there. Defeat the blue probe droid, yes. So it's gone. 3 fame pops in for us, which is nice. The one thing we don't want to forget about is the extra surge. We're going to use that to spend and actually recover 1 strain back. So, I mean, there was some usefulness to getting that. We'll return those dice back, put this back in the pool, and we're good. But her activation is done. At least we now have took out one of them. Diala's sitting pretty, but Fenn is having a rough day. Oh, look at that. We got lucky. So we actually get to have Fenn activate without a probe droid going, and maybe that's because we took out the one that was likely to activate next. Who knows? But regardless, let's make use of this. So as of right now, Fenn could, where he's positioned, take 2 pot shots at this one here, and I think he's going to go for this one so we can guarantee a kill. I'm going to have probably Diala try to get up here and remove the defense die and do some serious damage up close and personal. So let's have Fenn take some shots. He can draw a line right like this and a line like this to that target, so no issues there. Fenn's going to go ahead and activate, and he's going to take his 2 shots. Can we do anything to increase this attack? Not really. Does get a black defense die, so that's no fun. Just trying to think if there's anything. Yeah, let's give this a shot. Oh my goodness. This is, I'm sorry if you guys are watching this. Like, I know you obviously are, because you're watching this. It's the silliest thing I've ever said. But regardless, if you look at this, you've got to admit that the defensive rolls for the probe droids here, like, these have to be Vader's finest probe droids ever sent, because they are phenomenal at rolling defense dice. So basically, my accuracy was fine. I had way more than enough accuracy to get there. 2 damage is totally sucked up by all of this, and then regardless of what I use my surge on, which would be an additional damage because I don't need accuracy, it gets sucked up in the defense anyway, so that is a complete wash. So now the question becomes, do I leave Fenn there? He's not cutting it lately with his shots, but you know, if I it's tough. And you know, the other thing I'm thinking too is, I know that next Diala is probably going to want to make some movement towards the elite one now, So now that I didn't do any damage on this one, I'm thinking that he should turn his focus to the elite, and so that he can weaken it, so Diala can get there in one turn and make another attack next round. So maybe I'll have Fenn take a shot at the elite and just cross my fingers that this actually pans out for once. There we go, that's better. So we got 5 accuracy, which is more than enough. We got 2 blocks, but we got 2 damage through. So we weakened the strongest probe droid a little bit. We got 2 hits on him, so that's good. 2 good solid hits. Better than nothing. Better than how we've been rolling up to this point. So that I'll take it. That is a huge positive. So we're going to go ahead now and end Fenn's turn and see what nastiness awaits us. So the surviving probe droids extend their antennae and broadcast their location to the ship. You can be sure that more Imperial forces are on the way. I don't know personally if it's possible for my 2 heroes and 4 activations to kill all 3 of them regardless. I think this was kind of a doomed situation in the first place. Moments later, more Imperial troops come crashing through the underbrush, weapons hot. Are you serious? Oh, it's randomizing. Now that's interesting. So this one says, did you guys see that? So it actually, in the app, it actually randomized, and from what I'm understanding is, I think when the cube comes up, it's searching through what you've actually entered in as to what you own from the collection into the app, and then it'll randomly spit out an enemy for you. So that's what that cube stands for, essentially. And it's asking me to assign a color for them. Might as well go blue because we took the blue ones out already for the stormtroopers. So we'll bring a group of stormtroopers in here. We'll put a blue cube here, and then we're gonna we'll click on the blue one and confirm it. Looks like we've got, oh, it's actually going through a bunch of different things. This is getting out of control. Okay, so next up, deploy regular eWeb engineer. So we're gonna need an eWeb engineer. Now, I don't think I've ever seen these guys before, so this should be interesting. So there's a regular eWeb engineer coming out. Now, it didn't ask me for a color for this one, so who knows, but again, another cube up there. Welcome back to the insanity. So what we have here is, I just stepped back for a second and started to deploy some of the characters that were coming out because we got a little ahead of ourselves and got up to the Imperial officer before we put the other ones in play. So quickly, just to recap, Stormtroopers came out as a blue group. When that happens, 3 of them are deployed based on these bars right here. So we have 3 Stormtroopers coming through. Now the reason they're all piled this way is just because essentially the app told us to put it here, and when you deploy a group, you essentially have to put every other individual from that group in or like adjacent, as close or as adjacent to that space as possible. So obviously the first one can come in on that spot, and the rest can sit anywhere in these possible spots around it, just based on whichever configuration you want. Now, remember, this particular group is blue. So because it's blue, we're gonna probably just go ahead, in case, because this may actually impact gameplay. I'm gonna grab another, depends on if I have a token available though. I might not, I might be out. Yes. So for now, we're okay. We'll leave it as blue because they're the only stormtroopers out. But if we run into a situation where there's other groups, we're going to have to put some tokens or stickers or something on them to define them as a different color. But for now, we've got them labeled as blue here, so we're good to go. So that group has been deployed. The next one that came up right afterwards was the eWeb engineer. And that's right. This is just getting progressively more nasty as it goes along. It's only 1 unit, but it's said to deploy here. Well, the problem is, there'd be nowhere else for it to go adjacent wise, so it's going to sit right here, and it takes up 2 spaces. So we've got some serious problems coming in here right now. As you can see, it's getting a little cluttered. And then the third one that activated just at the end there before I cut away was the Imperial Officer. And the Imperial Officer, if you go back up here, was saying to put it way up in the top left-hand corner. So that's going to be this guy here yelling at us from miles away, way up in the corner here. And that's bad because the Imperial Officer, if we remember from the tutorial, I think he can aid his other Imperial forces. I think he can bring more people in. There's a lot of bad things that can happen that way. And we also have to assign him a color as well. So I guess what we'll do for him is we'll assign him, what color should we go with here? Maybe we'll go with the purple shade. Let's see here. Actually, and technically, because we know the probe droid is... yeah, we'll go purple, and I'll just put a red one underneath of them. That might be a little confusing, but we'll do that for now. That should be fine. So we'll put the red one underneath him. that'll be on me to keep track of that anyway. Deploy an Imperial officer and assign it a color. Oh, there's 2 of them. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we're gonna need a second one with another color. So I'm gonna deploy the second one maybe with blue. So I will be right back. We're gonna grab the deployment cards and we'll add another Imperial officer. This is getting insane. All right, we're back and I've got my blue Imperial officer there, right there, sitting adjacent to the deployment spot. We've also got Imperial officers with the red and the blue to differentiate them. This row is getting absolutely terrifying to look at, and maybe because I killed this probe droid, I'm just going to get rid of it because we are running out of space. It's getting really cluttered in here. So maybe what I'll do is I'll break them in half here so that we have a little bit of space in between for dice rolling and stuff. But wow, that's a crowded situation. And we're not done yet. The app is still going. So again, this was the second Imperial officer. We're going to go ahead and we put blue for him, so I'll confirm that. And please let this be the end. Imperial forces inbound, Lieutenant Talkin calls out. Hold them off as long as you can while we finish loading the last of the transports. If you start taking too many casualties, fall back into the base. May the force be with you. Objective updated. Hold off the Imperial forces until the last transports can escape. Well, guys, we've got a serious upgrade here. The door to the base opens just long enough for 3 rebel troopers to rush out onto the battlefield, and the door quickly closes behind them. Deploy the rebel trooper group, then each rebel trooper gains 6 movement points. So that's pretty good. So we can actually do quite a bit with those rebel troopers. And here comes the rebel trooper. So we've got ourselves the rebel trooper card, which I put right in the middle here. All the rebel troopers are coming out of that door there. We're gonna have to make use of them. Really, I'm glad the app gave us at least this, because this was getting out of control. This is gonna be a full-on battle. It says deploy the rebel trooper group, then each rebel gains 6 movement points. So my guess is that it's saying right now that each rebel trooper right now gets to move 6 movement points. So I get to put them kind of in positions, I guess, before they activate. So they're kind of sprinting out to help us. Now the question is where they should go. That's where things get interesting. Technically, if I wanted to be smart, I want to get rid of these Imperial officers up in the corner here as fast as possible so no more reinforcements show up. This is going to be an outrageous amount of enemies to have to deal with. So it's probably going to be wise to maybe send 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The Imperial officers' health are 3, so we should be able to take them out pretty fast. So if I get 1 rebel trooper over here, that would be useful. I don't know if that's putting him in a bad spot or not. This one's going to need to back up. Someone needs to back up Fenn. So 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5. Ugh, this is tough to know. It's tough to know exactly where to put these ones. Putting them around this corner doesn't make much. Oh, actually, it kind of does, because we got to take this guy out too. So maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to have this rebel trooper kind of running around the outside. He's going to come around this way and maybe help out Diala to try to take this thing out. Oh, Fenn's in a bad spot right now. Fenn's going to need some help up the middle. So maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the rebel troopers only have a health of 3 too. That's not that much. It really isn't that much. Like, they could die very fast. This is blocked terrain based on the tree, so maybe it's worthwhile. It's better to put him here. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll have him right on the corner. I don't want to put him out in trouble just yet. The other thing to mention too, guys, we do have a med pack here we can use, and I can tell you that we're probably going to need it based on how much damage Fenn has taken. So I'm going to take the damage from Fenn's character and move it over to his sheath, because this is where we normally store it. But he's got currently 8 damage, which is quite a bit. And then we're going to continue on here. So let's hit continue to see what else happens. Round 2. All right, finally, after all that. Okay, so at this point now, this is a perfect time to kind of hold the line. This will be a great time to end this episode. We're going to come back in the next one, and we're going to be ready for a full-out war. I don't know, and it looks like down here we're able to activate the rebel troopers and stuff like that in order to use them. So we'll look into that and see when the right time is to use them, when we can use them, because we're going to want to. and do as much damage as we possibly can to them. So hopefully this is interesting. Now, you guys, also, I've arranged these rebel troopers in this particular pattern. In the comments below, if you think that they should be positioned anyhow differently, let me know. If you think there's a position that they would be better to be in. They don't have much health, so what I'm trying to do is keep them out of harm's way to start. This is the only one that's truly in harm's way right now, but I really think it's important to get these Imperial officers off the board, so I'd like to activate them really quick. And then, of course, this guy here could always, with his movement points of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, he can actually be there to help him if I really wanted to have 2 going after in that direction. So we'll see how it pans out. Hope you guys are enjoying the playthrough so far. I'm hoping my dice rolling improves in the next one, but I'm having a blast regardless. So I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks again for watching, and keep on rolling solo.